Welcome to section 1.2. In this section, we're going to talk about simplifying expression. So here we have two examples. Example 1, 4x minus 3 times 3x minus 5. And the second example is going to be 4x minus the sum of 3x minus 5. Now, they are almost identical. The only difference between these two examples is that we have a 3 directly in front of the parenthesis. And in here, it seems like it's only a minus sign in front of the parenthesis, but there's also an invisible 1. Now, I want to go through the first example and then the second example. We're going to compare the similarities between them and then the difference. And you will see how the difference will give the final answer. So, example 1. Given a problem like this, we're using Pemdas. Now, always check if you can do anything inside a parenthesis. So inside the parenthesis, I have multiple numbers and variables. So I have 3x minus 5. Now I can't do anything with them because they're different terms. Meaning, the 5 is just a regular number, and 3x has a variable. They're not like terms, so I can't do anything combine them whatsoever. So it's just going to stay simply as 3x minus 5. Same process, same ordeal on example 2. So, since I can't do anything inside the parenthesis, it stays as is. Now take a look if I could do any multiplying or dividing from left to right. Looking at it from left to right, I can do multiplying because we have a 3 in front of the parenthesis. But be very careful, this 3 minus 3 is going to go with each time I distribute to 3x and minus 5. So when I'm distributing, I'm multiplying by negative 3 because it had a minus. So I'm going to rewrite it. 4x. Here this is a positive 3x, so I'm going to write plus 3x. Now since I was distributing, since it was minus 3, I'm going to distribute or multiply by negative 3. And then minus 5. And I also distribute with the negative 3. So, to review, if you have a number in front of the parenthesis, you're going to distribute to everything that's inside. So I distribute the negative 3 to the 3x, the negative 3 to the minus 5. Now, 4x, I don't have to do anything with it, or I can't do anything with it. Now the reason I didn't add 4x with 3x is because this right here, it's multiplying. So again, according to Pemdas, multiply, divide from left to right, and then add or subtract from left to right. This right here, 3x times negative 3, it becomes negative 9x. Over here, minus 5 times negative 3 minus negative, two negatives multiplying becomes positive 15. And then here, 4x minus 9x, that would become negative 5x. Plus 15, I bring that down because it's just a regular number. Negative 5 has an x. 15 is just a regular number, different terms. So I can't do anything. This will be our final answer. In example 2, it's 4x minus the sum of 3x minus 5. So the minus is directly in front of the parenthesis. So what we're going to do is that since it's a minus, that means it's an invisible 1 in front of the parenthesis. I'm going to distribute to the 3x and the minus 5. So again, you're going to distribute to everything that's inside the parenthesis. 4x plus 3x. And remember, I was distributing the minus 1, so I'm going to multiply by negative 1 to the 3x. Bring down to minus 5. And then multiply by negative 1. So, first, Can't do anything to the 4x. Bring it down. I did not add to the 3x because this 3x is multiplying by -1. So I need to simplify that first. 3x times -1, positive 3x again. Sorry. Positive 3x times -1 becomes negative 3x. Minus 5 times -1, that would become positive 5 because negative times negative. Now, once I finish multiplying, I'm going to simplify like terms, combine like terms. 4x minus 3x, simply 4 minus 3, that would be 1x, and then bring down to plus 5. So here, different terms cannot combine, so I can leave it like that and box my final answer. Now you can write 1x plus 5, but you can also write it as x plus 5. They both mean the same thing, it's just that you emphasize that there's an invisible 1 in front of x. So it doesn't matter which one you give me as long as it's correct. 1x plus 5 or x plus 5, they're the same thing. Now, to review between these two examples, example 1 had a 3 in front of parentheses. Example 2 had an invisible 1. So, we both end up distributing with the minus, but in this case we distribute with -3 in example 1. Example 2 we distribute with -1. And as we work it out and simplify, you see how the answers are different. Process is the same, solving is the same, simplifying is the same. The only difference is that the -5 right here, or minus 5, and 3x was multiplied by -3. We got -9x plus 15. Over here, 3x and -5 was distributed with -1. We got -3x plus 5. So it ended up with the different answer but different process. So meaning, everybody knows that when there's a number in front of the parenthesis, we can distribute. Here, when there's a minus in front of the parenthesis, there's an invisible 1. Remember, I did not distribute the 4x, I distribute the invisible 1. So again, here, see how I distribute with -1, not 4x. I only distribute what is directly in front of the parenthesis.